Hello and welcome. This is TVC News. I am Ikechukwu Obienu. President Muhammadu Buhari has declined his assent to the Peace Corps Establishment Bill passed by the National Assembly in 2017. In a letter read by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, this Tuesday, Buhari cited security concerns and financial implications as reasons for his decision. He also said that the organization is a duplication of existing security agencies. The bill has now been widely anticipated by many Nigerians who believe that the creation of the corps will help address the nation's unemployment crisis. The Nigerian army has arrested 10 herdsmen for destroying farmland at Se Tegeri and Se Ndu villages, that's in Benue State. Director, Army Public Relations Officer, Brigadier General Texas Chukwu said that the suspects were nabbed by soldiers participating in the ongoing Operation Cart Race in the state. The troops recovered 5 motorcycles, 2 machetes, assorted charms, and 120,000 naira. The suspects have been handed over to the police for investigation. The farmers in Tiv land say despite the presence of soldiers in their settlements, Fulani militia continue to destroy their crops and houses. Special advisor on media and ICT told the Benue State Governor to have a Gezwa shed light on the development.
That's the news that they arrested 10 herdsmen who were destroying farms. This is like a drop in the ocean. What is happening is a massive invasion. You can't say you just arrested 10 people. Even the veracity of that story is subject to question. So we expect massive military action, military operation, but they said what they are doing in Benue is an exercise. Let me tell you that the people of the state are a little bit disappointed. They expect an exercise like what is being done to the Boko Haram, because what the people are doing, the invaders are doing, is even more devastating than Boko Haram. And Professor Sunday Ochoche of the Victim Support Fund, when he visited Agatu last year, he brought out the fact that what is happening in Benue is more massive, more devastating than Boko Haram. So the people feel that the military are treating these people with kid gloves. Much as we appreciate the sacrifices being made by the troops who are now out of their comfort zone and in the bushes. But first, the deployments are now fundamental enough.
The Chief Magistrate Court in Port Harcourt has remanded a pastor in prison custody for the alleged murder of 3 members of his church. Pastor Chidiebere Okorafo of Altar of Solution Church is accused of committing the offense to conceal his romantic relationship with one of the victims, which resulted in pregnancy. Correspondent to River State, Uchiokuru, reports.
The accused person arrived at the River State Judiciary Complex in company of detectives from the Police Criminal Investigation Department. He was instantly moved to Chief Magistrate Court 1, where he pleaded guilty to the 3-count charge of first-degree murder. The Chief Magistrate, Kariba Braid, then ordered that the case file be transmitted to the State High Court that has jurisdiction to hear the matter. Meanwhile, narrating how he killed the 3 church members, the pastor told the court that he strangled his first victim, his girlfriend, Uloma Onweagba. He went further to state that the second victim, Ada Ezianwa, died as a result of severe physical blow to her chest, but he was unclear about how the third victim, a 9-month-old baby, died.
The court ordered that the prosecution transmit the case file to the High Court for proper arraignment and plea of the defendant. Now, in a capital offense like the one the defendant is charged with, murder, it is fundamental that a defendant or an accused person be properly arraigned and take his plea. And so we're expecting that he will take his plea in the High Court as ordered by the Chief Magistrate Court 1 today.
The case has been adjourned to March the 27th, 2017 for mention. Uche Kokoro, TVC News, Port Harcourt.
Still on legal matters, the Federal High Court in Abuja has adjourned to April the 12th the hearing of a suit filed by the former First Lady of Nigeria accusing the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission of demolishing a property. The said property, which belongs to Arua Richard Foundation, Women for Change and Development Initiative, a pet project initiated by the former First Lady, is said by the EFCC to be a subject matter of investigation. The EFCC had filed an ex parte motion seeking temporary forfeiture of the said properties.
The question is, what right do you have when a case is before the court and you are a party and the doctrine of lease pendens has taken over the proceedings as held by the Supreme Court in Governor of Lagos State against Ojukwu? What right do you have to go and demolish, even if it is just half a room of that building? But we have evidence to show that of the 4 properties on that land, they leveled 2, they demolished 2 completely.
We were in court and were ready to proceed with the matter when the Chief Mike Uzekomi informed the court that the property we're seeking an order of the court to seal it has been demolished. Obviously, we were shocked to hear this from a learned senior advocate. There and then the court now made an order that we should go and verify and report back to the court. We went there, we saw the property we're seeking an order of the court against it to be freeze. It's still standing and still existing. You understand what I'm saying? The house is a property that can be used for many purposes. EFCC does not have a power to demolish a house. EFCC has a power under Section 6 and 7 of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Act 2004 to investigate.
The group has filed a suit at the Federal High Court in Abuja to compel President Muhammadu Buhari to make public his intentions to run for president in 2019. The Democratic Youth Congress for Buhari 2019 threatened to sue the president that if he fails to make public a statement on or before February the 19th. They also expressed total support for Buhari's second-term bid as being championed by some governors under the platform of the All Progressives Congress.
Legally and constitutionally is empowered pursuant to Section 131 and 137 that he is eligible to the contest for second tenure. So I have seen no reason why Mr. President have not declared. And also we are here to condemn that assertion that some people are saying Mr. President is not fit medically to contest for 2019. We have unanimously resolved that even on wheelchair we are ready to support him and also to push him, because he must not go for campaign. He has done what already is campaigning for him.
The Lagos Central Senatorial District's APC leaders have endorsed Senator Oluremi Tinubu for 3rd term in the Senate. The party leaders at the district's leadership forum meeting in Lagos also pulled their weight behind Governor Akiume Ambode for a 2nd term re-election in the forthcoming 2019 elections. Lawmakers from the district and representatives of the 57 local government areas and LCDA chairman in Lagos stressed that Senator Oluremi Tinubu deserves a 3rd term because she has done well in bringing development to the state of excellence through her representation at the upper chamber of the National Assembly.
Magnificent and excellent governor of the state of excellence, Mr. Akiume Ambode, has spoken saying that he deserves a 2nd term. He has done excellently well. We are proud of him and we are giving him our support in this senatorial district. Likewise, our distinguished Senator Oluremi Tinubu, we are endorsing her for another term.
Our senator honestly has no peer in the entire Federation of Nigeria in the areas of service which he has rendered to this community, and so therefore we have resolved that it should go back to the senior.
She keeps to her channel. She's always around Lagos, not abandoning the state, the constituency that at the Senatorial district that has produced her. She's done several programs, widows, empowerment. So she has done exceptionally well.
Council chairmen that understood the Lagos Central Senatorial district, I stand to, on their behalf, state categorically and non-equivocally that the leadership of Lagos Central Senatorial district in endorsing Senator Tinubu as the senator of the Lagos Central district at the upper chamber of the National Assembly. The endorsement is hereby ratified by the 13 council chairmen.
A chieftain of the All Progressives Congress and Chief of Staff to Imo State Government, in Imo State Government House, Uche Nwosu has spoken on his recent endorsement by the people to take over the #1 seat of the land in 2019. He also dissociated himself from those clamoring for the zoning of the 2019 governorship ticket in Imo State.
These are people that you have never called to endorse you. You have never begged to say, please endorse me. As a human being, I'm concerned. My concern is that there are people outside there who appreciate me as Uche Nwosu. I don't believe on the issue of zoning because it's only he who does not have something to offer to the people. We cannot talk about zoning. I'll give you an example. Clinton was a senator, was a secretary of state, and came up to fight for president. The husband just finished as a president. Has that stopped America from being America? What are they looking for? The Americans are looking for that person who will change and present America to outside world as a good country. But here we talk about zoning. Zoning need to who? Is it zoning need to somebody who doesn't have brain to lead the state? We need a brain that will galvanize and change the state.
We'll take a break in a moment, and when we come back, we'll have more stories for you. Stay with us. The National Bureau of Statistics has released the full year 2017 gross domestic product growth rate for the country, with the economy growing at 0.82% in 2017. This is an improvement over the contraction of 1.58% which the economy recorded in 2016 during the period of recession. The Bureau said that the economy further consolidated its recovery from recession, with GDP growing by 1.92% in the fourth quarter of 2017 as against 1.4% in the third quarter. The National Bureau of Statistics report said GDP growth in the fourth quarter of 2017 was driven by growth in crop production, crude production and natural gas, metal ores, construction, transportation and storage, trade, electricity, as well as gas production. A new minimum wage for Nigerian workers is to be announced by the third quarter of the year 2018. This is according to the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, at the 40th anniversary of the Nigerian Labour Congress. We have details in the following report.
The clamor for the increase of minimum wage has continued to be on the front burner by Nigerian Labour Congress following the economic downturn in the country. This led to the federal government setting up a committee to come up with a way forward to ensure that Nigerian workers are well rewarded for their labor. For labor leaders, they believe the committee is slow in its duties and allege plans to truncate the process. But federal government has assured workers that by the third quarter of this year, a new minimum wage will be announced and urge workers to be patient.
This committee, of which I'm the deputy chairman, and of which the NSC president and the labor centers have about 9 representatives, have put up a timetable, and we do expect that by the third quarter of the year, a new minimum wage will be announced for the country. It is better to be late than never.
The legitimate demand for the review of the 18,000 minimum wage is born out of the current reality of high cost of living, free fall of the naira,
and high cost of goods and services. The minimum wage of 125 naira was equivalent then to $200. As we speak today, the 18,000 minimum wage is actually less than $50. And therefore, both in quantum and what it can be able to do for Nigerian workers going forward is that this demand is both legitimate and therefore legal.
Speakers at the event stressed the need for Nigerian workers to be fairly treated and want the Nigerian Labour Congress to revive its political party and be part of the decision-making in the country.
Working peoples in our country deserve better electoral processes, deserve better policy processes, and they deserve better governance processes. And all the working peoples in this country and the leaders of the working people in this country need to pay attention to engagement in all of these different spheres and sectors in order to bring remarkable improvements that can address the interests of the working peoples of this country.
We must continue to perfect the skill of negotiation, of persuasion, but it will not bring about fundamental changes. You will need to acquire political power, and you don't need to doubt whether you have that capacity. If a man who is as short as myself can do it, those of you who are 6-footers can do it even faster.
We are the only symbol, the epitome of social change in this country. Our opinion is we need to get back to the drawing board and see how we go beyond our traditional role of just protecting the welfare of workers and the downtrodden, and also be active participants in the political development or evolution of this country.
In 1978, the labor union was born with the aim of advocating and struggling for a better working condition for Nigerian workers. The celebrations saw dignitaries and past labor leaders in attendance.
Governor Siraki Dixon has been described as a visionary leader that the Joe Nation should be proud of. Chairman and members of the Bayelsa State House of Assembly Committee on Works summed it up this way when they inspected ongoing projects across the state. Our correspondent in Bayelsa, Vetoes George, reports.
The Onopa Tourist Island Bridge was the first port of call for the lawmakers on oversight duty. The state legislators also inspected work at the Senate building of the Niger Delta University, Wilberforce Island, Amasoma.
The quality of work that we have seen here are international standards. So thank you to the Restoration Governor, and thank you to the hard-working Commissioner. And for those of us who are skeptics, come and see what this government has done.
I am very, very proud to be part of the Restoration government and to be part of this great assembly. We appropriated money, like you've heard, and I would say the Restoration government has exceeded our expectations again.
A visionary leader, for him to have brought this kind of thing, and then something that's going to stand the test of time, something that the job man is going to be proud of.
We've come to the University of Africa, seen the Senate buildings, seen the convocation arena, and we're quite impressed with the work that's been done. Bayelsa State can stand proud anywhere to say that the government is working.
The assembly members were also at Tororua, where the auditorium of the University of Africa is gradually taking the shape of an ancient Greek theater. The Obolo Bubo-led Works Committee rounded off its oversight duty with a visit to the Bayelsa International Cargo Airport.
We are very, extremely impressed with the standard of work and also the level of work so far. We will also continue to encourage the system, especially the Commissioner of Works and all the rest of people working to ensure that the timelines are met, because we can't wait. We're in a hurry to enjoy the airport.
Looking at the major job done, what has been appropriated to the ministry was judiciously used. And we are quite impressed with the level of work and the quality of job here.
It's carrying every area along, even whether it's the NDU and other educational sectors. You can see what is happening. Really, he has really come to transform the state.
I want to thank the House of Assembly, especially led by the Right Honorable Komboe Benson, the members of the leadership of the House, and then the members of my committee who have been giving us the support, because the bullets move out of the gun because of the support of the gunpowder. So if they were not there to support us, we would achieve what we achieved.
Ovieteme George, TVC News, Yenagoa, Bayelsa State.
The governor of Borno State, Kashim Shettima, Monday embarked on an on-the-spot assessment of various ongoing mega projects within the city of Maiduguri, that's the capital of the state. Kalomedala's report is presented from our studios.
One of the areas worst hit by Boko Haram's reign of terror is education. Most schools in Borno State were destroyed by fighters of the group, whose name loosely translates to Western education is a sin. But Governor Kashim Shettima has embarked on massive infrastructure renewal in education. He is now on an inspection tour to see for himself the extent of work being done. The governor says he has the education sector at heart and has invested so much to see that every child of school age, including orphans, attend school.
Now the only what we need to do is to plant some trees to mitigate against the adverse effects of climate change, and to give every one of the women that are coming back a family drip irrigation kit to grow vegetables, carrots, and so on, to augment the family income. Otherwise, I think they have done an outstanding job. This is a solar village. The boreholes are being powered by solar. The classrooms and the clinics will be powered by solar. There will be solar street lights within the village, and it's going to be a very lively village.
He plans to extend this gesture to other parts of the state.
Important now is that we are building mega schools in every local government headquarters. We have about 40 mega schools coming on stream. The total number of the Boko Haram victims are 52,311 orphans. So we have to make provisions for the education of these orphans. This is an obsession for us. Now it is not feasible for us to build those mega schools in the villages because the security is still a little bit tenuous. But most importantly, in all the local government headquarters, we'll build mega schools so that indigents of those communities that were opened by the crisis can easily be kept in those communities for proper education.
He is impressed with the ongoing projects and praised the engineers on the work done so far. The governor visited the government girls' secondary school Yewa, and some of the students were delighted to see him.
For our excellency for the building of the new house for us, and we didn't have anything to say, also for kudos to you. Excited because we are no longer going to stay in the old classes. We are now going to stay in new classes where there is an AC, and I pray, and I'm telling you that we are going to study hard. We are going to do job up and tie on our wrappers.
Governor Shettima inspected the completed Dangote housing estates, a project meant for widowed victims of the Boko Haram insurgency, and Guillaume Market, reconstructed after Boko Haram destroyed it in 2014.
But as the news is sour, many thanks indeed for watching. For further details, visit our website tvcnews.tv. You can also interact with us across all of our social media platforms using the handle @TVC News NG. I am Ikechukwu Obieno. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye now.